Mrs. Sagata-Jones, do you have any changes or recommendations to the agenda?
Madam President, members of the board, yes, I think you want to make a change on your agenda.
I do have a change I would like to make. I would like to recommend that item 3, the call to the public, be moved after action item 5 and before item 6, the consent agenda. I'd like to call, if there are no further changes,
No, Madam President.
I'd like to call for a motion to adopt the agenda as presented with the changes recommended.
I'll move to adopt the agenda with the changes recommended.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Mr. Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson? Aye. And the chair votes aye. At this time, we will have our moment of silence. Thank you. And if you'll please rise, our Jack Squeakers are going to lead us in the pledge tonight. This way. Okay, you guys start. You guys start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Okay, we are at the special recognition student performance. Mrs. Sagata-Jones?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board. Tonight we're happy to have the Jack Squeakers from William C. Jack, and they will be performing an original song written by the students about the school under the direction of Miss Amanda Nottingham.
Hello, everyone. So these students, they're amazing. They come to school at 6:45 in the morning, 2 days a week for an hour. They're so dedicated. They love to sing. And I decided to use that and have them write a couple songs. And what they do is amazing. And we're going to have one of the students talk about our first song, and then we'll sing it for you.
This song is about our school. It is all about having a great day at our fun school. We sing this song sometimes at the gate in the morning as students arrive. We love our school and we hope you enjoy our song.
This next song is about kindness, and this is our newest song that we've written. It's kind of short, but again, we're going to have Charlie talk about this one.
This is another song we wrote about kindness. We think it's important to treat others the way you want to be treated. We start out the song by spelling kindness. K is for kindness, I for imagine, N is for nice, D for donation, N is for neighbors, E is for everybody, S is for smile, S is for sig. Enjoy our kindness song.
And this concludes our performance. Parents, if you would like to take a couple minutes to take some pictures, you could do that now.
Announce the next one, and then we'll go down there. Item B.
Let the kids walk out or give them a minute?
I give them a minute, yeah.
Okay, we're going to continue with our meeting with item 4B, the Just Because recognition.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, at this time we'd like to recognize staff members and students who have been identified as a Just Because. So when I call your name, would you please come forward?
Oops, sorry. Cindy, do you need a mic?
Okay, our first, I forgot the order you told me. Which one? Landmark. Okay. Okay, our first Just Because award, we're going to go in the order in which it's on the video. And the first student that we have as our Just Because is Matthew Reyes Robles. Is he here? Oh, come here, Matthew. Bring Mom. Come on. Come on. Woohoo! Landmark administration or teachers, if you're here, come up. Hi, Matthew. Remember when you were on the video? Oh, he's not lit. You come down. Get all your stuff, and then we'll talk to you. Congratulations, Matthew. Come over, stand right over here so you can see. Hi, Matthew. Are you Matthew?
Yeah.
Here's Matthew when we first told him. About a Jones, I'm the superintendent here in Glendale. And the reason we're here, I brought my friends with me, is that in Glendale we have a special award we call it the Just Because Award. And this month you are the Just Because. We wanted to tell you thank you for choosing Glendale Elementary. Can you look this way? Mr. Cummings has right there, and you know what? He's putting you right now on Instagram, okay? So can you smile? Okay, and what we want to do, we want to thank you, Matthew, for just choosing to be a great student here at Landmark and in Glendale Elementary School District. Also, we have an invitation for you. This is going to go home to your family, and we're going to invite you on March 5th to attend a special governing board meeting, and you will be recognized at that time in front of your family, okay? All right, thank you so much.
You're good.
Thank you, Matthew. That was great. That's great. And we do have for him, did you get the gifts? Oh, great, a gift certificate. Thank you so much. Thank you, Matthew. Oh, pictures. Come on, teacher. Come on in. There you go. Next, we have, this was the most excited person ever to receive the award. Dennis Parcells, principal of William C. Jack. Would you please come forward? He did. Dennis, thank you so much for all you do. And let's watch Dennis receive it just because.
Wow, all
we're
right.
here to give you the award. So
What are the odds?
So happy that you're the principal here.
Yeah.
You come every day. We appreciate everything you do.
Thanks.
Here's your special invitation to the governing board, so you'll be
Wow.
recognized there as well.
Awesome.
And so thank you for everything that you do, just because.
All right, thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
What are the odds? What are the odds?
1 out of 1,500.
Oh, great. Wait, I gotta have that. I'm tweeting that out. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Dennis. Oh, thank you.
all that on video and everything.
Oh, it went on Instagram and Twitter and everything, Dennis. And get your picture taken. Oh, Dennis has kids at home. He needs a lot of cookies. Thank you, Dennis. Next, our award is to our next student from Smith School, and it's Joseph Trejo. Is Joseph here? No? He was cute. Watch. He's so precious. So precious.
Special people here to see you.
Hi, Joseph. Nice to meet you. I'm Miss Sagata Jones. I'm the superintendent here at Glendale Elementary School District. How are you today? Good. Do you know why you're up here? No, you don't know why? Well, let me tell you why. I want you to look over here at my friends, okay? You are here today because in the district, every month we choose a student to give them a Just Because award. And that just means we're happy that you're a student here at Smith School and also that you're a student at Glendale, and we appreciate you coming to school every day. So I want you to hold the certificate, okay? Let me tell you something else that's going to happen. There's going to be a special, here, you hold it up like this, okay? And you know what? There's a camera, and guess what? Do you know what Instagram is? No? It's on, do you know what Facebook is? It's kind of like Facebook. Right now you're live on Instagram and Facebook, okay? So smile at everybody. Tell them hello. So what's going to happen next week? No, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a special meeting. Right, thank you. And our next Just Because Award goes to Norma Reyes, and she is a Smith. She's at Harold W. Smith as well, and she is a cleaner too there. So Norma, pase por favor. And here's Norma. She had no idea what was happening. The sound cut out, but got it. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do. Turn around and look. I was very happy when she said, okay, the sound got lost, because Norma, I did it in Spanish because she told me she was Spanish speaking, so we did it in Spanish, so but she was very excited.
So can you repeat what you said in Spanish?
Yes, she just kept saying yes. What I told her was the same thing. Le agradamos por su trabajo y compromiso con el Glendale Elementary School District. So. Thank you. Thank you. And then we'll go.
Okay, we are now on item 5A, board member resignation.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board. It is recommended the governing board approve the acceptance of resignation for Mr. Jamie Aldama as a Glendale Elementary School District governing board member, effective immediately as requested.
Madam President, if I may, a few words.
Please.
Today is a day that I didn't realize would come to fruition, because I felt that I would serve this community in the capacity of a board member for many years, and I think to that extent I did. Today, this week, you've seen my resignation on the agenda. It truly is a happy moment for me. I'm really excited to be here today and talk to you about my resignation. But before I do, the elected officials here in the capacity I am in as a council member can only happen because of our family and our spouses. In the back of the room, and she's always in the back of the room, she should be in the front of the room, but she insists to be in the back, is my wife, Monica, and if it wasn't for her, I couldn't serve in any capacity, so I want to say thank you so much for allowing me to serve, and to the spouses of those who are up here. We just couldn't do it without that support. You all know my character pretty well. We've created really good relationships, but you know my character to be one that I will let our administration, our board, and our community know where I stand in certain issues. But I couldn't be more proud today, folks, with this district and this superintendent and this board. It has been an amazing, amazing journey to see where we've come and where we're at today and where I know you guys are going to be in the future. The Glendale Elementary School District, in my opinion, is one of the best, or is the best district in all the state of Arizona because of the work that you are all doing in your classrooms and in your offices. Your representation of our students in our community couldn't be more. I couldn't ask for any more. And to our community, the trust that they have bestowed upon me was never taken for granted. That trust I hold here deep in my heart. As an elected official, when you go out and knock on doors, they say to you, I will support you, I will vote for you, do the right thing. I felt that I've done the right thing in all my years here with the Glendale Elementary School District. Today, while ends a chapter in my capacity as a school board member, it allows me to be with my family a little more, but it also allows me to spend more time on the city council doing the things that our community needs. And frankly, everyone in this room is my constituent in some way or some form or another, whether you're a business owner, a teacher in our district, a superintendent. I serve you, and so this is not the end of serving you and our board and our superintendent. It's just the beginning, but it's just a different hat. There was a time that I was very open about how I felt the district was at the time. I harped on our superintendent. I even did with this superintendent. But it was simply to want the district we have today. We are a progressive district. Our standards are where the state says we need to be. And I think we're even better than that. I've learned to accept that the state standards aren't always 100%, because I think you are better than an A. I think you guys are much greater than that. But I can't thank our board enough. We have become this united board working for our students and making sure that every student has an education, and each of you are proud of the work you do. And so I want to thank each of you. I would have come to the board and said to each one of them, I'm going to resign, but unfortunately, it's an action item, and we can't have those discussions because we violate open meeting law. So I feel real bad that I couldn't come to the board to each of them and have a conversation. So, and the right thing to do is to do it in public. But I want to thank each of you for serving alongside with me. It has been a pleasure and an absolute privilege. I appreciate all of you and our superintendent. Thank you so much. This district is in great hands with you at the helm and you and your staff. I can't thank you enough for being the superintendent you are. But again, to my board, thank you. Thank you very, very much. I think we've become a united front for you and for our students. So with that said, it is sad to go, but it's a good time to go, to give someone else an opportunity to sit in this chair and do the work that this board is doing for our kids. So with that, thank you very much. It's been a privilege serving you as your board member for the Glendale Elementary School District. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Are there any other comments on this action item? So if there are no other comments, I'm going to make a comment. And I've known Councilman Aldama for a couple years now, and his wife, Monica, and his family, and it's been an honor, and this is a bittersweet day for me as well. He has been a friend. He's been a mentor. He's helped me navigate everything when this is brand new to me. And so my initial thought is, where are you going? You're leaving me. But he's not. Everything he said was true. We're a united board. And I know that he's still going to be advocating for us, whether he's in an elected capacity here or the city of Glendale or wherever. He advocates for our district, our community, our families every day. So if there are any other comments?
Madam President, members of the board, if I may, I would like to thank Board Member Aldama for your service here on Glendale Elementary School District. board. I came on board as the assistant superintendent, and you were on board. You had very high expectations for this district, and it was very clear that what you wanted the district to become. Thank you for your support as the assistant superintendent. Thank you for your support for the superintendent. I know this is no longer serving as the governing board, but as you know, I am at City Council, so I'll see you then, and I will contact you and let you know what we need here. But again, thank you for your service, and I would also like to, as Mr. Aldama said, in these positions, Monica, thank you so much for sharing him with us, as you have, and we wish you both the best. Thank you so much, Madam President.
Do I have a motion to accept the resignation of Board Member Aldama?
I'll move to accept the resignation of Board Member Aldama.
I'll second.
Mr. Aldama, how do you vote?
Aye. That's an odd vote there.
Mrs. Smith?
Aye, and I'd also like to thank you for all your service and hope you continue to advocate for this district.
I will. Thank you.
Mrs. Bartels?
I, too, want to say thank you. And I have seen firsthand the passion, not always on the same side, but you know, the passion is there for the support of our kids and our community. And thank you so much for that service, and good luck with this course adjustment. But I vote aye.
Thank you.
Mrs. Wilson?
And as you've heard me say before, ditto. But really, thank you so much for your service. And I've enjoyed having you on the board and working with you and sometimes against you. But good luck to you in all your endeavors, and we will miss you.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
And the chair reluctantly votes aye. Motion passed. Thank you for your service, sir.
Mr. Aldama, if you would join us down at the floor. And at this time, Monica, would you please join us?
Yes. At this time, we're going to take a 10-minute recess. We will be back in at about 6:10.
Yeah, sweater time.
Yeah, I should have brought one.
Watch this. The chair is gone.
She showed respect. She waited till after. She swapped chairs.
Oh, you swapped chairs? Oh.
Okay, we're going to call this meeting back to order from the recess. Wow, sorry about that. A little bit louder than I expected, but I got your attention. At this time, we will have the call to the public. The board will hear questions and comments from members of the public who have submitted requests to address the board. Each speaker will be provided with 3 minutes to address the board. Note that governing board members are not permitted to discuss or take action on matters raised during the open call to the public unless matters are properly noticed for discussion and legal action. However, law permits board members to do the following at the conclusion of the open call to the public. A, respond to criticism made by those who have addressed the board. B, ask staff to review a matter. Or C, ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. Speakers are asked to begin comments by stating their name. Our first speaker is Elizabeth Griego.
Board President, member of the board, and Superintendent Ms. Sagata Jones. My name is Elizabeth Griego. I'm a student in Bicentennial North, and I suffer from the growing class sizes in 7th grade. I've been going to school in the district since kindergarten, and each year has gotten seemingly more miserable and stressful with more people in my classes. The size just keeps increasing yearly, making it possible for students who want to learn able to get the education they deserve and want to have. I'm one of those students. I have been surrounded by chaos each year since 1st grade, and students who cannot keep their mouths shut long enough for us to even hear anything the teacher is trying to say. I have been almost pushed to my limit in a class of over 30, and I haven't learned much in past classes because of disruptions and so much more. And that's nothing compared to homeroom now. My class barely has enough seats and area for students. There are 7 of us crammed at a table. And again, my table is just nothing compared to the rest of the classes, but we keep adding students regularly. And with new students coming into classes each year, the size just keeps increasing. Along with adding into each class, it also is becoming even more frustrating for students and teachers. I asked students to list some things that have also affected them. This includes interrupting, work not being finished, ditching, farce acts, splitting when a substitute is not there, not enough books or Chromebook computers, and phones being taken out of class. One of my closest friends, Leah Chavez, stated large class sizes affect the teacher's mental health. They see the same issues every day, and it's hard to change the amount of kids, and it affects the students' mental health also. It just has to stop right here, right now. I want to get my education. When I was little, my biggest dream was to be a veterinarian, but now it's changed to include being a vet, working as a homicide investigator, or acting on Broadway. But with such large class sizes, I cannot get the education to just achieve my dreams. You say you are all in for kids, but it doesn't seem like it. My question is, are you thinking of those who are unable to put up with the large class sizes? Are you doing anything to fix it? I'd like to thank you for your time and allowing me to speak, but I want the large class sizes fixed now, before it's too late. Thank you.
Jenny Paperman. Jenny Paperman.
Good evening, Governing Board, President, Superintendent, staff. My name is Jenny Paperman. I am a teacher from Harold W. Smith. I am also the GA site leaders, and I deal with teachers that are having a lot of concern with class size. And I also have been in the Meet and Confer for 5 years, and it seems that class size has been an issue year after year, and it's been a trend year after year, and this needs to stop. We have a lot of teachers leaving our district telling me, well, I'm going to be looking somewhere else, where I'm going to be treated good. And this is not fair for our students. Our students deserve to have highly qualified teachers to be within the classroom to meet those educational goals. There's research on small class sizes, which states that small class sizes support students with graduation rate to meet those goals that they need to meet by the end of the year. AZ Merit, large class sizes causes teachers to deal even with more discipline. And from my observation, this also has been a concern with administration. Their hands are tied up. Administration, they're trying their very best to work with these teachers and with these large class sizes. And the challenges that administrations are facing is that they're dealing with so much discipline, running after students, trying to get as many kids focused, working with their parents instead of working in the classroom with the teachers. So we need to bring change in Glendale Elementary School District. We need to support our teachers. We need to find ways to even support our administrators. Having large class sizes, too many students with a lot of discipline does not help our students meet their educational goals. Thank you.
Next speaker is Mary Gross.
Good evening, Superintendent Sagata Jones, Madam Board President, and members of the board. My name is Mary Gross, and I am a 5th grade teacher at Sign. Every kid, every day. That's our expectation as teachers, to meet with every kid every day during our small group times, not only for guided reading, but for math too. That puts me in one spot in the classroom, face to face with groups of 3 to 6 kids, upwards of 12 different times a day. On the days that I am able to meet these expectations with fidelity, I have taught almost 12 different reading and math lessons to 12 different groups of students. While I work with these groups, the rest of the class is engaged in a variety of strategic, differentiated activities related to our daily learning targets. Not only am I working with my small group, but I am expected to manage the behavior and the work of 25 other students in the classroom. The size of my class, 30 students, makes my job very challenging. I know what it feels like to be in a classroom that feels crowded every day, and so do my students. I know what it feels like to rush instruction to meet every kid every day, and so do my students. When classes are split due to lack of substitutes, my classroom can hold anywhere from 35 to 37 kids. It sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. I am a devoted employee to this district, but this year has left me feeling dejected. Do I have an impossible job? To truly meet with every kid every day, to know them in a way that will not only help them grow and to learn the content standards, but to also help them become good people and to cultivate kindness. They so readily demand my attention as an adult in their lives, to fill their buckets when oftentimes they leave their own homes feeling empty. Every kid, every day. If GESD truly means this, then something needs to change. I know this isn't the reality in every classroom, but we need to live up to our desire to be the best school district in the nation by making our students a priority, not just in word, but in action, and reduce class size in classrooms where it seems necessary. That way, every kid, every day, truly means doing what's best for all kids. Thank you.
Next speaker, Elizabeth Seifter.
Good evening, Superintendent Sagata Jones, Madam Board President, and members of the board. My name is Elizabeth Seifter, and I'm a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade social studies teacher at Melvin East Sign Elementary School. I'm here today because class size in the Glendale Elementary District is a problem and it needs to be addressed. Currently, my 8th grade classes are above the standard size set by the district. In my homeroom alone, I have 35 8th graders. This sizable class makes it difficult to be all in for all kids. To me, that slogan means that I teach to the individual needs of my students. My ELD students who are varying levels of English proficiency, my resource students who have varying modifications, my gifted students with multiple learning intelligences, my students who have experienced trauma and need me for more than just academics. These students have individual needs that cannot be met with 35 kids in a middle school classroom. 35 students in a class gives me 1 minute and 42 seconds a day per kid. Frankly, my students deserve more. I have attended most Meet and Confer meetings this year, hoping this issue would be discussed. I have heard there were over 300 comments in the Culture and Climate Survey about class size. It apparently was the #1 working condition issue. But at every meeting, there were discussions but no solutions that the team could come to consensus on. Decreasing student enrollment was used as an excuse as to why presented solutions were not viable. It was even said that we had to wait until next year because we might have to increase standard class sizes due to the enrollment. I understand that student enrollment is bringing stress on our district, but let's not forget the kids that are actually here. Do we not owe it to them to give them the best education possible? It seems like meeting after meeting, we talk about the kids who have left our district. Let's start focusing on the kids who have stayed. Let's start focusing on the kids who have chosen Glendale. Let's invest in them. Let's show our community that they matter. Let's help them grow, learn, and reach their potential. If we do that, new students will come. Parents will hear about the great things happening in Glendale, that Glendale did not give up on their community or students, but we doubled down and continued to invest in them. My last point is I know there are many classrooms in our district that are under the standard size. I keep hearing that, but that is not the reality of my students or me. According to the averages, we have 17 students in a classroom. 35 students is not the average. I will do whatever it takes to advocate for my students, and telling them that their needs do not matter because other classrooms are under the standard is unacceptable. Let's live up to our slogan, all in for all kids. Let's come up with a solution for our classrooms that are over the standard size. We are educators, and educators always find a way. Thank you.
Next speaker, Alec Caruso. Next speaker, Michael Schoonover.
All right. Oh, is there a microphone here? Oh, there it is. Okay. Hello, Superintendent Sagata-Jones, Board President, Board members. My name is Michael Schoonover. I'm a potential parent of GESD. I also happen to be a teacher of the Peoria Unified School District for the last 10 years. As a potential parent, I know that Glendale has a lot to offer. I am intrigued deeply by your dual language program. I am committed to serving all kids. As a Peoria teacher, I also appreciate that your district has had community support through an override and a bond, and Peoria really hasn't. However, I need to be honest that I'm concerned about 3 things that may impact my children and their future classmates. I hope that they can be substantially addressed by you. These 3 things are class size, lack of substitutes, and retaining quality experienced teachers. As a parent, I'm concerned that 1 4th-year classrooms are not the standard size, and the standard size is already too large. I don't want my child in an overcrowded classroom with individual needs unaddressed. Class size impacts the teacher ability to meet academic needs as well as social-emotional needs, and I know the board cares deeply about those needs. I worry that my children won't get the attention that they deserve, nor their classmates. I worry that it's hard for students to focus in loud, crowded classrooms. I taught junior high for many years, and my class sizes range from 28 to 34, and I know the impact of that difference. Secondly, I'm concerned that 20 to 30% of substitute jobs aren't covered. that classes are often split because substitute pay isn't even competitive with the minimum wage. I want my children and their classmates not losing 6 to 10 days of instruction each year, being potentially put into a different grade or another class for that day when there's not a substitute. Lastly, these two elements contribute to teacher burnout. More students means more grading, parent contact, differentiation, IEPs, personalities, background stories, stress. Sorry, this is serious, but I can't help laugh. 20% of teachers typically leave in the first 3 years, and 40% in the first 5. Dude, chill. High needs, sorry. 35% of your teachers are in their first 3 years, and other districts, that's closer to 26%. I want my kids and their future classmates to be in classrooms with highly qualified teachers that also have years of experience. And so that means the 30,000 educators in our district that aren't in classrooms, even though there is a teacher shortage, we need to get those teachers back. We need to keep them here in Glendale because Glendale is a great district and a great community. Thank you for all that you've done and all that you will do, and I look forward to hearing from great things in the future.
Next speaker, Jessica Peck.
Hello, Superintendent Sagata Jones, Madam Board President, and members of the board. My name is Jessica Peck, and I've been blessed to be a teacher in this district for 10 years. I love my school, my job, and most importantly, my students. I serve this district in many ways with the hopes of helping it be the best it can be. I am all in. One way I do this is by serving on Meet and Confer. I thrive on learning about the complexities of a situation and trying to brainstorm manageable, efficient solutions. This year, Meet and Confer did a lot of deep, important work, and I am proud of what we tackled and agreed upon. I look forward to our proposals, hopefully being ratified and approved. However, there was one large element that was unaddressed by our proposal, and that is class size. It was the #1 working conditions issue cited by our staff, coming in at 30%, with the other topics ranging from only 11 to 14%. 253 comments were made in the class size section, with about 100 comments in the other areas mentioning it as well. With over 600 respondents, this is 1/3 to 1/2 of our staff. Their voices are not being fully communicated in our future recommendations, which is why we are here tonight. We are the ones who speak for the children. We serve them every day in our classrooms, 78 of which are over the standard limit. This means that 2,370 of our students are spending each day in overcrowded classrooms, and this has been going on for years. That is 1/4 of our students, which is 1/4 too many. Their voices, I know that one of the pushbacks about class size is the teacher shortage. Trust me, I know. I have seen so many amazing educators leave our district, and I know that you have too. We need to pay attention to their voices, their 11 pages of survey comments, and to take them seriously. Ms. Valadez and Dr. Peterson in Corvaya have worked tirelessly to recruit and train these teachers, and we need to listen to their voices, their experiences, and in their classrooms each day. This is the only way that we will fulfill your board goal of retaining highly qualified staff. I also know about the falling student enrollment. I hate unpredictable financial futures, and I take budgeting extremely seriously. Yet I do believe that budgeting involves setting priorities, and lowering class sizes needs to be a big priority next year. If we want to be the best district, as I've heard many times, we need to be bold and brave and make decisions based on what's right, not based on fear. That is the true way to increase student enrollment. I hope tonight's voices linger in your minds over the course of the next year. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your service to our students.
Next speaker, Lacey, Arizona.
Hello. Superintendent, President, Board, and Executive Assistant Elizabeth Powell. Thank you so much. I love this district, even though I haven't been involved for long. My name is Lacey, Arizona. I have a son in first grade in the dual language program at Horizon. And I came tonight because I saw the notification about teachers asking for an emphasis on class size in the future. The number one thing I've loved about this district, and especially our school, Horizon, is the transparency, welcoming, be kind, community focus that the district does genuinely seem to have. And I love that about that district, and it encourages a lot of loyalty, I think, from the parents. I'm so moved by what I've heard from these teachers in terms of how they feel about this district. And I just wanted to add a parent voice to this conversation about class size. Class size is my number one concern for continuing my son in this district. The dual language program is why I was willing to take a chance from my own perspective on Glendale Elementary School District. And I hope that consideration can be made for the impact of high class sizes on the teachers in the dual language program, because what that means for those teachers with 28 kids at the beginning of the year in a dual language program is, as I've expressed with, Mrs. Balder at the school and Director Garcia of the Language Acquisition Program, what that means is twice as many families, twice as many involved parents, twice as many problems in the classroom, and half as much time to deal with each of those kids, because these teachers are dealing with 28 times 2. I see that the dual language teachers individually are doing a fantastic job of managing those expectations, and Mrs. Balder has been so responsive when we've gone and said we have this concern about high class size at the beginning of the year, both the first year, initial year of the program, and this year attempts were made to alleviate that situation. My concern is that if it takes so long in the year to bring in an assistant or give some sort of readjustment to the numbers, that as people have expressed, those are weeks, days, hours lost from children in individualized attention in the classroom. So I want to say again, volunteering in the classroom, I've seen, as these teachers have expressed, that the difference between 28, 29, and 24 students is profound. I never would have thought that. I would have thought, well, what difference does 25 or 27 make? But when you're juggling that many expectations, that many families, that many kids, it's huge. That was a big surprise to me. So I want to thank Mrs. Balder and Horizon for being so responsive to our concerns. Director of Language Acquisition, Alex Garcia, has been fantastic in listening and making herself available to the students, to the parents, and that is the sort of responsiveness that breeds loyalty to the classroom, to the district. And I would like also to just shout out the individuals teachers. Mrs. Alvarez, Senora de la Huerta, Mrs. Hanks have all, the dual language program is fantastic, and I would love to see the district build on the strengths that starts with those teachers who have managed really difficult situations. So thank you so much again for your openness and responsiveness, and I have loved what you've done, and I look forward to being involved in the district in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to item 6, the consent agenda. The board will consider approval from the consent agenda as presented. Before hearing a motion, are there any items members of the board would like to have pulled?
6G, please.
Are there any other items? Mrs. Bartels.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda of removing G.
I'll second. Mrs. Smith, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Bartels?
Aye.
Mrs. Wilson?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Let's see. Mrs. Bartels?
I just a little concerned. I don't know when their agenda comes out, but right now I'm looking at the NALEO annual conference, and I'm only seeing 2 education-related classes, and they're both with regards to charter schools. So I'm wondering if this is maybe a year that we don't want to do that, or am I missing something on their agenda?
I personally have not looked at it yet. Suffice it to say, normally when I have seen the agenda come out in full, it's pretty late.
Okay. Is it possible to kind of play this one by ear when board members make that decision to go, to make sure that it's going to really get us our bang for our money?
Do you want to pull this and put it on another agenda, a later agenda?
I don't have opposition to approving it. If their agenda expands, because I have seen past ones where there is more, meatiness that is relevant to us. But right now, at this time on the agenda that I saw today, I'm just concerned. I just don't want to see us spending money where it's not going to benefit us.
I agree. It should be something with substance pertaining to us in public education. So, is there any further discussion on this item?
We do see it as, I know this agenda doesn't always come out in detail, and then sometimes we know it has changed. They do have on the, we were trying to look at that when you just see the titles, I believe that's what you saw, Board Member Bartels. Tech security, crisis management is on there as well. Those are 2 topics as well. But the full detailed, usually with their conferences late, and I think we try to get it into travel because we're trying to meet deadlines for making those last travel requests. But I think we should be cognizant of what's on the agenda as long as it's available to us to see.
Agreed.
I think it's important that when we go on our travel, that now that we have our strategic plan, that we make sure that what we're going to, that it relates to that. And I did look at the agenda for NALEO, what they have up there, and I thought I would go this year, but then when I saw what was up there, I said, I wouldn't go because it would waste the district's money at this time. So, to me, I'm not okay with it.
So do you want to pull this for a later time until we get the agenda, or?
I would prefer to pull it and not approve it at this time.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the travel minus the NALEO.
I'll second that.
Okay. Mrs. Smith, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Bartels?
Aye.
Mrs. Wilson?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We will bring this back at a later time. Okay. So then we...
And then we'll go to action items. You're good. Number 18. Reports.
We don't have any reports or information items at this time. We will now go to action items. Item 8. Mrs. Sagata-Jones?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board. It is recommended the governing board approve the hiring of Mr. Brad Hortzman as principal at Challenger Middle School, salary and benefits commensurate with other principals.
Is there any discussion on this item?
Well, I'll just throw something fun out for this one. Because he has worked for the district, but, last night we had an outing thanks to Gusto, and he was part of my team, and, he and Mr. Purcells were instrumental in helping us get up there, within the top 3 places. So I'm honored to recommend him as principal for Challenger.
Because of his golfing.
Because of the golfing. He didn't throw a golf club across the field. So
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Mrs. Smith, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Bartels?
Aye.
Mrs. Wilson?
Aye.
I am happy to vote aye. Motion passes. Congratulations. We now have another action item of another employment of principal. Mrs.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, it is recommended the governing board approve the hiring of Ms. Tara Burnaby as principal of Harold W. Smith School, salary and benefits commensurate with other principals.
Do we have any discussion on this item?
I don't know how she golf.
We'll pass on that.
Oh, poorly. All right, you know.
Well, I know her from Discovery Days. So she was there when my youngest was in his, I think, the last year. I think he was 8th grade that year. And again, it would be an honor to recommend Ms. Barnaby as principal for Harold W. Smith for next year.
So do I take that as a motion, Mrs. Bartels?
Yes.
Do we have a second? Mrs. Wilson. Mrs. Smith, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Bartels?
Aye.
Mrs. Wilson?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Congratulations. And we are at item 8C, employment of principal.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, it is recommended the governing board approve the hiring of Mr. Joshua King as principal of Melvin East Science School, salary and benefits commensurate with other principals.
Is there any discussion on this item?
Sure. Yesterday he had the best shot when we were golfing, so so he deserves to be principal. So I'll make a motion to approve Mr. King as principal of Melvin East Science.
Do we have a second?
I'd like to add to that. I've seen him over the years grow, and I'm excited for this next chapter, and I will second that.
Okay. Mrs. Smith, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mrs. Bartels?
Aye.
Mrs. Wilson?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Congratulations.
Madam President, members of the board, as we have named Josh the principal assigned, we need to let the community know where Deanza went. So Deanza Baker, who is the current principal assigned, was a lateral move to Sunset Vista Elementary School.
Congratulations. We are at item 9 for discussion item. Mrs. Sagata-Jones?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, at this time we were going to discuss the NSBA conference sessions. I believe that we were wanting to discuss which of those we were going to attend.
Has anybody had the chance to review these sessions?
I think I already gave Liz mine.
Not for pre-conference. This is for the regular sessions. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't see any on the app of like what. Well, I saw it
On
on
the
our
agenda item.
I saw it on our agenda item, but I didn't know where you. Right. Yeah. So I don't know what we can discuss. I just, when I had mentioned, that we should discuss this, is that so that we, as a team, go and learn together and focus on some of the strategic focuses that we have, but there's not a schedule.
So we have, I think, a list of, are these pre-conference? These are the session topics.
Mm-hmm.
So we have session topics, but we don't have anything giving us further direction as to what it's about.
Mm-mm.
So I agree with you. I think we should, and I think since I've been on the board, we've generally kind of divided and conquered and brought back information. A lot of times with, maybe if we're all interested in one class, we go to another one so we can share the information. But again, in keeping with our strategic plan and doing the best we can for our district, we should definitely keep something going where we're in alignment with our district strategic goals and governing board goals.
So I just think like when the agenda actually comes out and we can actually look at what's in each of the topics, then I think it would be good for us at some point to be able to have a discussion as a board. And I don't know when.
Do you want to bring that back to a board meeting?
I mean, I hope it's out. We're having one on the 20-something, aren't we? Are we having another board meeting on the...
We are so far in the
Yes.
schedule, it's the 26th.
I think the 26th would be a good time to, hopefully they would have something out by then to look at it.
Don't we, I mean, in the past, we've kind of gotten together at the beginning of that conference and discussed. So, instead of beforehand, before we actually go and come together.
When that comes out in detail, I might recommend that then we put that in the board update and we can see how many, if it works that way, then bring back the discussion. As Board Member Smith said, if it was aligned, we talked prior about the other conference, if it was aligned to the strategic goals, and there are things on there, there is that pre-conference, and the pieces that are on there are the social emotional learning, which is good, as well as also that's the school safety. It's also about poverty and diverse populations, so we know that to the detail we don't, but those are some of the topic areas as well.
I think as long as we make that collective commitment to whether it is at a meeting or it is, like the night before, so we can really make it go in, because we all know, I mean, all five of us can be sitting in the same meeting and come out with hearing something different, so.
Agreed. And to be honest, I don't look at this usually until I'm sitting somewhere on a plane.
Well, sometimes it changes too. They cancel the sessions. It's really,
when you register, they give you the book.
Yeah, especially that's why you see, as with the other conference too, they put out the topics, and then the time it's printed, it's changed at times. But
are we all going to the pre-session?
We are all attending the pre-conference. We are at different sessions. I'm at the all-day session with social emotional learning session of it.
I think we could even just discuss, sometime maybe at lunch,
Sure.
during the pre-session. That'd be a good time too.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Okay. So moving on, we are now at item 10A.
Yes.
Meetings and events.
Yes, Madam President, members of the board, let's go to that last page where we have the items on there. And we are still scheduled for the March 26th board meeting. We are also scheduled, all the board meetings are still there scheduled. The one that we wanted to recommend that May 28th be the study session that was requested. We'll be ready with all budgets and that by then. So we'd recommend that be the study session. And then also at that time, we want to look at the June, and typically in June, that's when we do the, did that one move already? Did I miss that? We're looking at the proposed expenditure budget. So what we would like to do, if possible, everything under the 25th of June, we can shuffle those up into June 11th, and then we can still have, the problem with, I would also recommend proposed budget at that time, but remember last year it depends when the state releases those forms, and there was a glitch last year. Right. So our intent would be if we can move that, we will, and then that then would give us the June 25th board meeting. We would just have already covered that in June 11th, and then we could possibly do, is the study session. We were going to shift those. 25th was that other conference, but we were going to shift it to earlier in the week to propose the study session. So not have a end of June study session. We'd have it prior to, if it comes back to the board to approve the conference, and then we just shove things up if you wanted to have the retreat during the week.
So are we looking at possibly the 22nd?
Yeah, I'm pulling up my calendar. Yeah, if that would work, because you could do, if we can get everything in there, as long as we still have, depending again on the state with the proposed budget, to get that out, we could look at the 22nd, because I believe if the conference is approved, when was the departure again, the 23rd? Or the 22nd?
The evening of the 22nd.
The evening of the 22nd, okay. Then we could move that. The recommendation is you could still keep June 11th and move up to the week of the 15th through the 19th as a study session if you wanted.
Does anyone have any input on that?
Well, in the summertime, are we going to try to do meetings earlier start times as well?
We typically do. They're scheduled for that way. So do you want us at the next board meeting just present some of those recommendations, put it in the board update, then you can check calendars at that time? I know it seems like June is far away, but it's really, really quick. So why don't we come up with which items, again, we can move. We probably won't know for still several weeks whether we're going to get the state forms or not, because that's what it's all pending on is those state forms. But if Mr. Berrigan said if he has them, he can easily get it to us, work hard to get it earlier if possible. So let us give you some different proposals for those retreat dates. I just need to know, are we open to having the retreat during the week?
Yes.
In lieu of a board meeting? Okay. All right.
Are there any other questions? We are now at item 11, summary of current events. Mrs. Sagata-Jones?
Yes, Madam President, members of the board. Things. First of all, I'd like to recognize the artwork and curriculum work that's on the back, and that is from Glendale Success Academy and Sunset Vista, so thank you so much for that. I'd like to also thank all of for the district track meet. It was a great track meet. This is the first year we had all of our schools participate, so every child had the opportunity to participate. Thank you to all of our PE staff and all of our coaches and those that helped out with that. So that was a great event. Also this week, as you know, it's Read Across America. There's been so many wonderful things happening in classrooms, and we thank you for the invitations that you have given us to read. It's been a pleasure to read to the children. We're going to continue to do that through the month of March. Couple things also, I would like to take a minute to remind people of some things that are happening. Golf with Gusto, that was an event that happened last night. Gusto is our foundation. It was their first fundraiser for us, and thank you to the staff that donated to that and participated in that. So that was wonderful. Everybody seemed to have a really good time there, so that was great. And that probably is one of the most single best ways that you can market your district. You have so many partnership and stakeholders there, and they were just a pleasure that we could be able to speak to them. They could hear our needs. And we were able to connect with some of the things that they've done for us already. So that was a great way, and that was probably the best way you can market is really have your stakeholders all in one place. So thank you for that event. A couple things to announce. I sit on the historic Downtown Glendale Merchants Association, and so I always like to promote them. The Dog Days of Glendale is Saturday. If you're a dog lover down at Murphy Park, bring your dog. They're expecting. Last year, I think they had over 200 dogs, and they're hoping to get 500 dogs, and there's going to be food carts or food trucks and everything there, so it's going to be a great event. And if you haven't gone downtown Glendale, last night they did the ribbon cutting. They have a project with the arts and where they've painted the benches for downtown Glendale. It's been wonderful, so go down there if you can. Reminder, basketball championship is Wednesday, March 11th, 4:30 p.m. at Glendale Landmark Gym. We look forward to that. Parent-teacher conferences is coming, and of course, spring break is coming as well, so we look forward to those things. Also, I'd like to take just a minute to recognize, and we do have permission, David Hutchinson was an employee of ours. Unfortunately, his passing is we hate to see that, and it saddens us that we've lost one of the GSD family members. His service was this evening, so we do have those from our maintenance crew that did attend that representing us. So just keep his family in our prayers, please. And then one more thing, Matt Schock brought up for us from the third grade team, Be Kind, Be True, Just Be You, Dr. Seuss, one of my favorite books, and that was from the third grade team. Again, thank you for that. I like to be kind. And again, thank Jack for their little squeakers, and their kindness song was really special, so that's wonderful. Thank you for the audience for coming and sharing your thoughts with us, and have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Smith, do you have anything?
I do have a few things. First, I want to say congratulations again to all of our new principals, and I actually find it very refreshing in this district to see that we're able to grow our own, and it's been very nice to see that change from when I first started here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they all do at their new schools. It'll be a fun thing. Again, we had a great evening last night. We want to thank Gusto for all that they did to get that event going, and it was a lot of fun, and I will go back someday. And I was able to go to Jack and read, and I really enjoyed my time at Jack's school, and the children were very respectful, and they were kind, and I liked what I saw in the classrooms on the boards also about being kind, so that was great. And then the track meet was just fantastic with all the participation that was there, and I just again want to thank the PE teachers and the other teachers and whoever else was there supporting their schools, because that was a lot of work getting all of that done, and they had a lot of fun.
Wonderful. Mrs. Bartels.
Well, she took some of mine. So I'm going to ditto and expand. I'd like to do a personal shout out to Miss Mine's class for a third grade class over at Bi-Sci South. Read a kindness book to them yesterday because I was invited over to participate in their parade. And those kids were so excited. They knew the different ways that they were kind, and they told me examples of it. But they were just a wonderful class, and I can't wait to read my thank you letters. Not notes, not cards, but letters. I am so excited to read those. Good luck to our basketball teams that will be participating this Wednesday. I know parent-teacher conferences are coming up next week, but just hang in there. You've got, spring break right after that, and, refresh yourselves, and we will see you when you come back. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Wilson?
Yeah, like I said, Ms. Smith really kind of said it all for us, but I also was at Bi-Sci South yesterday, and I got to be part of the parade, which we got to be a Horton elephant. But it was great to see all the kids so involved. And I got to read also Green Eggs and Ham, which I'm sure those kids had heard a million times, but they acted like they'd never heard it before, and that was wonderful. But it's, you've got spring break coming up, and I remember those days, and it's funny because I still look forward to it, but in a different way. And congratulations to all the principals, the new principals, and like Ms. Smith said, it's just wonderful to see us as we grow our own. Good luck during parent-teacher conferences, and have a safe and happy and fun spring break.
Thank you. I'm going to pretty much parrot everybody. Thank you to the Jack Squeakers. They are original songs. That's amazing. The character parade at Bi-Sci South was, I also got to be a Horton, but to some of the kids out there, and I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. Oh, that's what it is. I'm trying to speak gnomish, and I fail, but I try. So to the gnomes, I think there was at least 100 gnomes walking around, and we saw Cats in the Hat, we had Hortons, we had everybody, and these kids are amazing. Thank you to the teachers and the staff for allowing us to attend. The Gusto event, wow. I've been to a couple different foundation events, and I gotta say, ours by far was the best. The best. It was a perfect night for it, and I look forward to going to additional ones. Congratulations to Gusto. To our new principals, again, I think I've kind of sung the praises of Mr. Horstman a couple times, and congratulations. Kind of a personal thing. I've said it before. He taught my kids, and I'm excited. I'm excited for all of you, so congratulations. Be safe on spring break. I'm happy and excited, and we are at the end of our meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you for coming this evening. Have a safe night.